There's a strange paradox in the tech world today. A company that builds the smartest chips on Earth, the engines of the AI revolution, now finds itself blocked from both of its biggest markets. That company is Nvidia. Once the arms dealer of artificial intelligence, it has become a casualty of a new Cold War between superpowers, and its story reveals a hard truth. In the age of AI, there's no such thing as neutrality. Not long ago, Nvidia was the undisputed king of China's AI chip market. It controlled about 95% of the accelerators used in Chinese data centers. China wasn't just a customer, it was Nvidia's growth engine, accounting for 20 to 25% of its data center revenue, a business worth over $40 billion annually. And then, almost overnight, that number fell to zero. Not because China stopped needing AI, but because politics decided that technology could no longer flow freely. A superpower rivalry turned one of the world's most valuable companies into collateral damage. The crisis began in Washington. U.S. authorities banned exports of advanced AI chips to China, even watered down versions. Nvidia designed a special compliant model, the B30A, but the White House refused to approve it, fearing it could still help train military-grade AI systems. Meanwhile, in Beijing, the response was equally firm. The government ordered that all state-funded data center projects must use domestically made chips, and that any project less than 30% complete remove foreign hardware or cancel purchases entirely. It's a classic pincer movement. America blocks supply, China blocks demand. Nvidia stands trapped in the middle, with nowhere left to go. Nvidia's CEO Jensen Huang has long argued that keeping China dependent on American chips is actually in America's best interest. His logic was simple. If they keep building on our hardware, we hold the leverage. So he lobbied Washington, even proposing that Nvidia and AMD pay the U.S. government 15% of their China revenue in exchange for export permission. For a brief moment, it seemed to work. But while Huang was busy convincing the White House, Beijing was quietly shutting him out through a national security review of Nvidia's chips. The irony couldn't be sharper. As Huang fought for access to China, China was already building walls to keep him out. This is no longer about business. It's about power. AI chips are the new ammunition of the 21st century. Whoever controls computing power controls the future, from military defense to surveillance to global influence. So when Washington bans AI exports, it's not just a trade policy. It's a strategy of containment. And when Beijing invests billions to replace foreign chips, it's not just industrial planning. It's self-preservation. Since 2021, China has poured over $100 billion into domestic AI and data center projects, nurturing national champions like Huawei, Cambricon, Moorthreads, and Inflame. These firms may not yet match Nvidia's raw performance, but they have what they need most: time, money, and a protected market to catch up. For Nvidia, this has become an impossible equation. Obey U.S. law, lose China, defy U.S. law, face sanctions. Meanwhile, Beijing has quietly instructed local tech giants to stop buying Nvidia chips and proudly unveiled new data centers running exclusively on Chinese hardware. Asked about the company's prospects in China, Huang offered a wry half-smile. If anything happens in China, it'll be a bonus, a polite phrase. But in corporate language, it means game over. This is what happens when nationalism meets innovation. Every country wants to secure its own technological future, but the global AI ecosystem pays the price. Analysts warn that the world is heading toward a split digital order. One bloc, the West, powered by Nvidia and American cloud giants. Another, China, powered by state-funded domestic chips. Each will build its own software, infrastructure, and ethics. The free-flowing internet age of technology cooperation is fading, replaced by two incompatible systems, each optimized for its own ideology. A few years ago, Huang boldly said, "China will win the AI race." Today, he softened that statement, not because he suddenly believes otherwise, but because the race has changed lanes. The US might think it's protecting national security. China might think it's protecting independence. But the company that built the engine for both sides, Nvidia, is the one bleeding revenue. When two empires fight over the throne, it's the craftsman who built the throne who gets crushed first. From a neutral perspective, everyone's logic makes sense. The US fears its technology could empower a rival. Military China fears overdependence on foreign. Hardware. Nvidia fears being cut in half by policy. No one here is entirely right or wrong. The real mistake was believing that technology could ever be separate from politics. In the 2020s, AI isn't just a science, it's statecraft. Chips aren't just circuits, they're geopolitical currency. Today, Nvidia assumes zero revenue from China in all forecasts. Its focus now shifts to the US, Europe, Japan, Korea, and India. Markets where business goals still align with political alliances, but the price is heavy, losing a quarter of its global customer base and the dream of being a truly global supplier. In the AI era, there are no neutral vendors. Every company, no matter how innovative, will eventually be forced to choose a side. The Nvidia story isn't just about chips or markets, it's about how the world is redefining globalization. Itself, technology may be limitless, but as we're learning again, power always draws boundaries.